everyone, I'm Harshil. I am the founder of Dreamland Studios. We are an AI first MVP studios and we help founders launch their dreams in less than 5 weeks. That's what we go for. And recently I had been getting a lot of messages about how one can craft PRDs for their products, and I think that's something we also struggled with initially. But over the past 6 months, we have figured out a way to go about these things. Now, to talk about having a PRD, firstly, we come to what is PRD. So, PRD in a nutshell is product requirement documentation, which basically goes over what does your product stand for and what does it want to solve, and every documentation that you can think of. Now, the reason why it becomes important is because when you kind of start building a product, you need to have a proper clarity of what you're building, and it also helps align your team if you're going to market it with your team as well. And it also defines, if you're building an MVP, what all features do you want in that phase and not. And another obviously essential benefit would be a efficient development cycle as well as a single source of truth that can be followed by your team, or if you're working with somebody like us, then we have a clarity. Right. So for crafting PRDs, there are few components that become fundamentally very important, which is firstly, if you're working with a client or something, then you have obviously a project name, whatever it is. Let's say you have a dream launch MVP and maybe author and everything. But coming to the main parts, what becomes important is you having a layout of objectives and goals, which can be primary objective of the product, what it want to solve, and what are the business goals, such as what kind of market do you want to tap into, and yeah, what's your TAM and your market needs, etc. Now, after that, what also becomes important is having a target user and user roles, which basically intensely what is your ideal user for your product, and if there are multiple layers in your product, then what kind of user role which each layer have. Other than that, then it obviously boils down to key features and functionalities, which basically walks through what are going to be the core features of your product, and things like constraints, maybe users flow, and obviously if you're building a tech product, then the next thing which is gonna be is technical requirements, which can be backend, front-end, databases, etc. Right. Then you obviously have some minor things like user journey, which is like a layout of how the product will be, and based on user journey, you can also build user stories, which is how big MNCs go about these kind of things. So in this template, I have made about three example PRDs of the same. If you want, you can get the link to this PRD template in the comments. But if someone wants to craft a PRD, then this is how I usually go about it, and this is how you can start off. So you can go to ChatGPT, and I usually go for this extension called product requirement documentation. If you just click on exploring GPTs, the first thing that will pop up under PRDs will be this exact thing. And if you go to start a chat and let's say I ask it to, hey ChatGPT, I want to create a PRD for a MVP that revolves around students, and we want to build a student attendance management system for classes 10 to 12th, and we want to manage their students, their scores, their performance across the semesters, etc. Craft me a PID for the same. And if I give in this prompt, it usually provides with obviously different responses. I think it's still generating. So it just finished generating the PRD template, and this is what it generated. It created an overview. It created objective, some key features which can be student management, attendance management, performance tracking, reports and analytics, role-based access, notifications. Obviously, we then have tech stack, a timeline and milestone, and other features. So that's it for this video. Hope I was able to help you guys.